Namaste and welcome back to today's episode of Mahabharata Matters. In the previous episode, we saw that the Pandavas had met their grandfather Bhīṣma after a gory ninth day of war. Bhīṣma had happily led them in on the secret of his own annihilation. When the 10th day of the war began, the Kauravas had arranged themselves in the Asura Vyuha. In response, the Pandavas had arranged themselves in the Deva Vyuha. Pandavas had placed Shikhandi in the forefront. They had placed the other warriors of the Pandava army in very strategic places to protect him. Yudhishthira, Bhīma, Nakula, Sahadeva, Dhrishtadyumna, Satyaki, Abhimanyu, Ghatotkacha, all of them were protecting Shikhandi and keeping them in the forefront. Arjuna was right behind him in the chariot led by Krishna. Bhīṣma was on a rampage like never before. He seemed to be very happy to be on the battlefield today. He was happy to be giving up his life today. But when Duryodhana saw this, he thought his grandfather was finally fighting his best and he was going to bring victory to him anyway now. Shikhandi challenged Bhīṣma. He said, "You may have chosen to fight with your own guru Parashurama rather than marrying Amba. You may have defeated your guru even. But now you cannot defeat me. Come fight with me," he challenged. Bhīṣma said, "You may be a man now, Shikhandi, but I know you were Amba before. I will never fight with a woman," he said. Arjuna told Shikhandi, "Keep on challenging grandfather. Rest of the Pandava heroes will keep the other Kauravas away from Bhīṣma. I will be right behind you to take on him." Duryodhana saw that the Pandavas were positioning themselves to put Shikhandi in front of his commander-in-chief. He told the rest of his warriors to be vigilant and guard Bhīṣma Pitamaha. But then, Abhimanyu, Satyaki, Dhrishtadyumna, everyone was fighting their ferocious best today. They were killing the Kaurava army and dispersing them like never before. Duryodhana came to Bhīṣma. He said, "Look at those Pandavas, they are wreaking havoc in my army. You have to kill them now or my army will be destroyed. I hate them. Kill them now," he insisted. Bhīṣma was disgusted at Duryodhana's words. He shot a furious look at Duryodhana and said, "I have been telling you again and again, I will not kill the Pandavas. Not me, not your guru, not your friend, nobody can kill them. I will get killed by Arjuna today, not the other way around. I have done enough to absolve my debt to both Hastinapura throne as well as your father." Saying so, Bhīṣma charged further on the Pandava army. Drona, on the other side of the battlefield, was seeing many bad omens. He told his son Ashwathama, "We need to guard our commander-in-chief today." He said, "I am afraid for Bhīṣma today. We need to protect him." But both of them were kept busy at the far end of the battlefield. Bhīṣma hurried Arjuna. "Now, my child, kill me now. Hurry up and release me from this body," he said. Arjuna had to isolate Bhīṣma from the rest of the Kaurava army. It was a daunting task, but he could not be perturbed now. It had to be done. His eyes were swelling up with tears. But then he separated Bhīṣma from the rest of the Kaurava army and isolated him. Shikhandi was still in front of Arjuna. Shikhandi shot 5 arrows and injured Bhīṣma, but Bhīṣma would not reply to his arrows. He was recollecting his whole life now. The oath he had taken when he brought Satyavati to marry his father, Amba's vow when he did not marry her, his silence during Dyuta Sabha or burning of Varanavarta, or also during Draupadi's disrobing. He was blessed by his father with Ichhamrityu, which means he could die when he chose. He had chosen to die now. He had done enough for the throne of Hastinapura till now. And now an even more complacent smile lit up Bhīṣma's face. Krishna saw this and he instructed Arjuna. "Now, Arjuna, now, act now. Bhīṣma has decided to die," he said. Shikhandi was aiming arrows at Bhīṣma, but Bhīṣma had laid his bow down. He was merely throwing a bahala, a javelin, back at them. Arjuna's arrows were slashing the body of the grand old man. The eyes of all the Pandavas were filled with hot tears, but Bhīṣma's eyes were filled with joy, contentment and pride. He called out to Dushyasana, who was trying to protect him. He said, "Look, Dushyasana, these are the arrows of Arjuna. No one other than Krishna or Arjuna could have killed me." He was very placid. Duryodhana stood there in utter despair and helplessness. The whole battlefield hushed into silence. Nobody said anything. Arjuna kept showering arrows at Bhīṣma. Each arrow was piercing through his body and coming out on the other side. Finally, Bhīṣma fell down from the chariot with his eyes glued on Krishna's face. But his body did not hit the ground. The arrows that had gone through him held his body above the ground. Bhīṣma lay on the battlefield on his Sharashaya, the bed of arrows. So, what are our takeaways from the story? Bhīṣma was throwing a javelin at Arjuna. He did not want Arjuna to be fighting a warrior without weapons. Even when he was laying down his life, he was thinking of Arjuna's welfare even when he was falling. This battle was the culminating point for many oaths and wounds. Their purpose was served. Even with the blessings of Ichamrityu, Bhīṣma's end had come. He was in complete acceptance of his death, and a pleasant calmness was written all over his face. He had rendered all the duties he had signed up for. Such should be a person's resolve to complete all his duties and tasks, whether he likes it or not. With these thoughts, we come to the end of today's episode. Remember, in this series, we are discussing matters of Mahabharata, because even today, Mahabharata matters. Hari Om!